So Lindsey and I decided to go on a road trip this summer. It was pretty great, honestly, so this is it. This is the road trip. Day one consisted of driving from Oklahoma all the way to Roanoke, Virginia. This was our farthest day of driving, mileage-wise, and stop time. And we left at about 5 in the morning. So from Roanoke, Virginia, we decided to head up to Providence, Rhode Island. Day 3, we headed from just outside of Providence, where our hotel is, to Boston, where we stayed all afternoon, and we walked along the Freedom Trail. On day 4, we decided that we wanted to get up early in the morning so we could go watch the sunrise off the coast of Massachusetts. So we got up at 3:30 a.m. and drove about an hour out to the coast where we watched the sunrise. Honestly, that experience in itself was incredible because that was something that we weren't planning to do on this trip, but just getting out there early in the morning before anyone else was out there was amazing. From the beach, we left to Portland, Maine. We decided to have lunch there, and at my request, we had lobster on a boat in Portland. With a long day ahead of us, we left almost directly after lunch and headed to Montreal. So we stopped in Toronto for a few hours and walked around Chinatown. And Toronto was pretty cool. It was great being in Canada. The people there are super nice, and for the most part it's super clean. So after we were done with Toronto, we headed out to Niagara Falls, which was probably the only key destination that we had in mind other than just trying to stop and see as many cities as possible and travel across as many states as possible. Niagara Falls was pretty much our last major stop on this trip, so we started heading back the next day. We went from Niagara Falls to Pittsburgh, where we stopped there for a few hours. So from Pittsburgh we left and went to Columbus, Ohio, where we stayed the night. So we left from Columbus and went to Cincinnati, where we briefly stopped to take state line pictures. From Cincinnati we traveled to Louisville, Kentucky, so we could take a Kentucky state picture line since we were right there. And then from Louisville we traveled to St. Louis, where we stopped there for about 3 hours and went and explored the Arch. From St. Louis, we just headed all the way back to Hugo, Oklahoma. We did briefly pull off the interstate and then go into Kansas for about a quarter mile so we could take a Kansas state picture. All said and done, this road trip was, incredible. It was an experience of a lifetime. I'm very fortunate that I was able to go on it, and it's definitely something I want to do in the future. We ended up traveling 4,200 miles across 21 states and 2 provinces. This definitely was a lot to see, and it was mostly driving. Anyways, that was my road trip. I'm just trying out a new format of videos, so if you like this, just give it a thumbs up or drop a comment, whatever you want to do. If you think the style doesn't necessarily work for me, let me know. I'm open to criticism. My channel's still pretty new. As always, thanks for watching.